instead of spending all this time and effort developing angel battles, you know, we could have just bought some like regular JPEGs and let them sit in the wallet, and like they would be worth like way more now. But maybe it will go that way over time, that NFTs will become a lot more than just the JPEGs, because they're really an NFT is really just anything unique.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back to the show. More than excited to talk with this very early project that was recently revived. Actually, I think it might be the newest one or one of the newest ones to the historical space. I'm here with Michael and Angel of Angel Battles. It's a January 2018 project that's similar to a battle arena, maybe a combination of play to earn. They recently were able to mint off of the old contract and then airdropped Polygon NFTs to play with their new L2 game, living out the original vision of what they had planned almost 5 years ago now from today's recording. Yeah, so we'll be posting this literally the day after the 5th anniversary. So make sure that you guys go head over there and check out the project and become involved. So thank you, Michael and Angel, for joining us on the show.
Awesome. We are excited to be here.
Heck yeah. So here we go. Adam McBride, I know, had worked with you guys for quite some time to get this project revived. I know there's a lot of technical complications that happened, and it's a pretty complex game, which we'll dive into a little bit later as you guys will walk me through, as I had bought some NFTs in preparation for this for the game. But either one of you who'd like to take this question, just tell us a little bit about either one of you, without having to dox yourself too much, of kind of just the basic, how you got into crypto, and then eventually what led you to creating a game in January of 2018.
All right. Well, I had been in a small business space, and you know, was taking credit card payments, and thought it was ridiculous that we had to pay a credit card fee of, you know, 3% or something. And, you know, then when some crypto came out where fees were really, really low, I thought like, hey, you know, this is really interesting. If you think about it, a 3% credit card fee is basically like a 3% drag on the entire economy. Right. And I mean, like, yeah, there are some good reasons for it. Some of it comes back through rewards to the credit card holders and things like that, but it's really not great for merchants. And so I thought, like, there has to be a better way. So started playing around with some of these different kind of payment systems. You know, back then it was just for payments, not really contracts or anything. And you know, I remember like Ethereum coming out, and I remember thinking like, wow, this is like really, really cool, but I have like no idea like what it is. Like, I went to like, I researched it. I went to like Wikipedia, and I read it, and I was like, all right, I'm 100% sure that was written in English. I'm 100% sure that I know English, and I have no idea what like any of that said. So sadly, I missed like the ICO and all that stuff, just because I was like, well, I'm not gonna like buy anything that I don't understand, right? This was, you know, back in the day where like there was very little content. There was very little like podcasts like yours that people could just like listen to and kind of learn how things went. It was just all these words that kind of made sense, but like didn't really make sense at the time. And then so, you know, but we're both like technophiles, like engineers. And so this guy kept bothering me like, hey, let's do something. Let's make a game. So we played with some kind of different contracts, but then like, yeah, so CryptoPunks came out, and I remember thinking like, oh, that's really cool. You just like go and like get one for free. And then I never did it. Right. It's just like, oh yeah, like it's just like a little thing, you know, like one more thing on the to-do list. And then CryptoKitties came out. And I think as far as historical NFTs go, that's really the watershed, because that was the first time that like there was actually like real money coming behind it. And in the like early 2018, late 2017 time, it was definitely different than now. Like it was, in a lot of ways, it was a lot more pure because people were just experimenting and just trying to see like what would happen. But I don't want to say it was like 100% pure and there was no financial motives, because when CryptoKitties came out, and I remember thinking something like, all right, well, allegedly there's a virtual cat selling for like $100,000. And like, I'm not really sure if that's true, right? Like, wash trading or whatever. Like, I'm not really sure if that's real. But if it is real, like, I want to be on the other side of that transaction, right? Like, I'll be happy to sell a virtual anything for $10, right? Like, it doesn't need to be $100,000. It's just like, let's do something. So this guy had been bothering me to make like some kind of game. And so we really made Angel Battles as like just to see what would happen and just to learn about Ethereum, because we thought it's going to be very important in the future. And we didn't know like exactly like how, but we were like, let's just like, the only way to really learn something is to really do it, right? Like to know if this really works is to try to actually do something. So that's kind of how we started, and then we connected with like our artists and other people, and then that's the rest is history, right?
Yeah, CryptoKitties really did inspire so many projects afterwards. If you look through all the 2018 projects, and a lot of the NFT historians are very familiar with this, a lot of them follow very similar breeding mechanics, and then at some point around your time in January, a bunch of these like battle P2E fight arena games began popping up. And that's just literally what fills 2018. There has to be probably 50 to 100 different similar games of your guys' nature, although you guys were one of the first ones. I believe CryptoBots in December 30th, 2017 was the first play to earn game, and then a handful and a slew of people followed right after. But Angel Battles is, it's unique. There's a lot of complexity. What is the inspiration that gave both of you the idea to follow angels and battling? Was there anything from the real world or anything maybe from your childhood that gave you the idea to use angels as the focal point of the project?
Well, one of the things before that specifically, just to speak to some of the complexity, something that that like I was like personally very wrong about, like from an investment point of view, is that I saw all these JPEGs, right? Like NFTs that were just JPEGs. And I was like, oh, well, like NFT, the concept is 1,000 times more powerful than like just an image. Right. And so I was like, the image, that was just like the first thing, and everyone's going to move on from images, and the games are going to have to use some of the complexity that we can have. Right. And I saw like, all right, well, CryptoKitties added something, breeding, right? Like, well, that's great, but like we can add so much more to that, like upgrading the cards themselves through battling over time and different kind of combinations and all stuff like that. And, I guess I like, instead of spending all this time, like and effort developing Angel Battles, we could have just bought some like regular JPEGs and let them sit in the wallet, and like they would be worth like way more now. But just I just kind of, maybe it will go that way over time, that NFTs will become a lot more than just the JPEGs, because they're really an NFT is really just anything unique, right? And there's so many powerful things you can do. Like, I saw there was like a restaurant in New York City that sold like reservations as NFTs, and being like a subscriber as an NFT, where you could then sell your subscription later on. So imagine like all the newspapers that are struggling, if like instead of subscribers canceling, that subscriber had a financial incentive to find the next subscriber for them. But anyways, as far as angels go, yeah, we just kind of always liked it, and it was just kind of something unique. and it was something that everybody knew. So we didn't have to like make up like a robots or something, but we would make up all the lore. And if you look at angel battles, the lore is actually pretty detailed in the angels and in the monsters. So the monsters are actually different monsters from different parts of human mythology throughout the entire world. And then the angels are from like some in the Bible, but very few angels are like mentioned in the Bible. And most of it is from like the Apocrypha, which is like other books that were written around the same time but didn't make it into the Bible, or other legends. And so we have the angels and demons, and then the images were all made kind of for like what type of angel or demon they were. Like for instance, Varen is known as the demon of impatience. And so you see he has like clocks on his swords, and he looks like he's like in a hurry. And Gabriel is the messenger angel, so you see like he has his like messages, and he's like running really fast and all that stuff. And so it's pretty interesting how like it all came together. I think our artist did a fantastic job on that. But yeah, it was just kind of something unique, something with well-established mythology, and that's why we chose it.
Yeah, if you want to try something new, you want to try to run with whatever everybody's most familiar with. And just to backtrack a little bit on what you're saying, it's funny how you get in this conundrum when you're in crypto where I don't know if you've seen the meme of the bell curve, where it's like the 40 IQ people and the 140 IQ people tend to come to the same conclusion, but kind of through different travels. And
yeah.
When I first got into NFTs too, I also thought like the future utility of, oh, these could be tickets and these could be hotel rooms and these can represent all these different things. And then the primitive form is the one that ends up being the most speculative and the most financially lucrative. I do think we will kind of pass it at some point, and maybe these early NFTs just become just pure collectibles. That are just JPEGs. And then most of the new stuff will probably not be as valuable, but will have more utility and probably be a lot more fun to at least experiment with. So as you guys launched, let's dive into the launch of Angel Battles and the state of NFTs and your game at the time. You launched, I believe it was like January 22nd, 2018.
That's the first contract, yeah.
The first contract. So you guys launch. How does that go? Is there any obstacles that are overcome? How many things went wrong? And what was the user or the reception base to Angel Battles being launched?
You want to take this one?
No, go ahead, for sure. I actually wanted to add a little bit to that piece, though. I think also for me, the reason why I was drawn to like the whole concept of angels was just that back in 2018, there was a lot of there's a trust factor that was there as well. Cause I think like it was just so new, and others were like basically saying like, it's a kind of like that place where the dark web is, you know, like where people like are hiding out in the shadows. And we wanted to kind of give something where it was something where we brought something to light, where it's a little bit more, I guess, trustworthy. People can actually go to some place that was safe, actually could play. So I think that's kind of what was most drawn for me to kind of be part of this project here.
Yeah.
Take this piece here.
I will say also one thing is our game is not symmetrical. If people look in details, so first of all, there's 24 of the angel cards, and 16 of them are known as light angels. 8 are like dark angels or fallen angels or demons, and they all have different powers. But the strongest card overall is Michael, and Lucifer is the second strongest card. So there's a little asymmetry built in, and then also one of the accessories is Holy Light, and that accessory gives extra power, but only when a light angel is fighting a dark angel. So dark angels can't use Holy Light at all, and a light angel fighting a light angel, Holy Light won't make any difference.
Absolutely love it. Take us through the launch in 2018. What was the reception? Did you guys manage to build a community? And then kind of the fallout leading into the crypto winter of 2018 to 2020.
Sure. So we had no idea what would happen when it launched. And we did get a really good community starting. It was kind of like you never knew what was going to happen, right? Like we had people on Discord making like memes. We had like reviews in like Asia with like really weird like anime kind of like comics on them, and people just talking about playing the game. We had like some reviews that you're like, well, it looks like this person like didn't really play, but they're like reviewing the game anyways. And right after, as far as missteps also, so right after we launched the game, a couple months later, we went to ETH Denver. And so we were planning to build our own marketplace. And there was two main marketplaces at the time, Rarebits and OpenSea. And so I remember talking to the OpenSea people, and I was like, hey, we have this, nowadays your projects are just on OpenSea like automatically, right? Which is crazy considering back then. So we talked to them, and I was like, hey, we have this new game. Can we like list it on OpenSea? And they had to do like engineering work at that time to like list every single project. But ours required more work because we weren't 721 compatible. And so they were like, yeah, I don't know. And when we were like, okay, we had no idea like OpenSea would be as big as it was. And so we're like, all right, we'll just like build our own marketplace. And then later we got listed on the Wyvern exchange, which seems to have disappeared. It was a pretty crazy marketplace. You could list anything on that marketplace. You could even sell smart contracts, which I'm not exactly 100% sure how it worked. I think it was like you could only sell a contract if it had some kind of function that could be owned. But they bought and sold our cards on the Wyvern exchange, even though it wasn't 721. But yeah, it was every once in a while, in this space, you like talk to someone and you're just like, holy crap, this person is like stupidly smart, right? Like ridiculously smart. And the person making that named Protonam was like that. I think that it maybe got like bought or taken over by OpenSea, because if you look on the burn leaderboard, sometimes you'll still see like Wyvern exchange as like the top, one of the top burning contracts. And that's because they use all the Wyvern stuff in OpenSea. So I would say like our big mistake at the beginning was not being 721 compliant and not really understanding what it meant to be compliant with a standard, because we saw it and we were like, oh, cool. We thought it's just like you make your own way to become non-fungible. So rather like 721 standard has approves, right? Like you have to approve a contract, and instead for us, we used locks, so that like you had to lock or unlock your token. So if it's unlocked, then it can be transferred. If it's locked, it can't be transferred. But it could also only be transferred by like our contracts that had write permission. So the approval is better because you can approve only for like a certain person. Whereas our locks, it was anyone that had write access on that contract, which of course was like only our contracts, but at the same time, it would have been so much easier to just follow the 721 standard, like the actual code. Because I think Open Zeppelin was just getting started around that time. So it wasn't like now you just like get the Open Zeppelin, or you just ask ChatGTP like, hey, write me an NFT contract or whatever. Like it definitely wasn't like that. So you'll notice even for the historical owners, before they can wrap their cards, they have to unlock them first. So there's 2 transactions if you have a historical card before you can put it on OpenSea, or before it can become the new wrapper.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical complications to it. And we've seen this time and time again with a lot of the projects that are revived. But just tell us what happened through the fallout into crypto winter, because as we're familiar with, 99% of these projects ended up going into a deep slumber because just most people left crypto. And honestly, I was around that time and we thought crypto was dead, especially Ethereum,
Yeah. Like for us, it was not as much of the price issue. It was more the gas price issue, because our game was complex. You pretty much like, you want to play it. Like we wanted to make a game that you wanted to play. Like CryptoKitties, you kind of just breed them whenever, and you just like sit in your wallet, right? And then they don't really like do anything. Like most of these things, you just hold them, but you're not constantly having to like pay like over time, right? Like you're not having to like to do stuff with them. And so for our game, I mean, this was back when gas was 0.1 Gwei, right? And so some of these transactions, they're like 10 cents of gas fees or whatever. And so like you're battling, you're increasing your experience. I mean, like now if you think a gas fee might be like $10 to get like one experience, and you see like a card that has like 100 experience or something, right? You're like, wow, like that card went through a lot of transactions in order to get like all that experience. And so our game was going up and up and up and up. And then the gas fees started going up around, I think like June, July or something. And then once the gas fees went up, like it just crashed. The usage went like almost to zero, because people, like part of it crashed because it was too expensive. And then part of it crashed because no one else was playing. Right. And so they're like, okay, well now like I don't really want to play because I don't want to spend like, you know, $20 a day just like paying to like fight in battles. Right. Or some at that time, some people got like too strong. So another thing that we had done was we started adding like a cooldown period, so that angels would like not be able to keep battling if you were like really strong. So that way like new people could kind of catch up more closely. And in this time we have like also levels. So like if you're, you know, if you have like millions of experience points or whatever, you're not going to just like automatically defeat everyone that has like less than you. Right? Like you see in a lot of games, like going from level 99 to level 100 is difficult, right? Compared to going from level 1 to 0. Another thing that we kind of noticed in the beginning was we made this whole thing to be like really automated. You know, we're like, all right, we're just going to like release it. We're going to like step into the mist like Satoshi, and then it's just going to run itself. And so we made this like complicated system of like how much each card would sell for. Like each card would come out like 1 week after, and then it was completely automated, like based on like if the previous card had sold out and like how many hours the previous card series had sold out, that would have like increased or decreased the price on the next card series. And it was like from an abstract mathematical point of view, I think it was really cool and like really beautiful, but like it totally didn't like work at all. So we just ended up doing like just manually updating the prices. And it was good that we put some of those manual controls in. There's always like a huge like balance between like being as decentralized and idealistic as possible and being like as easy to change and play as possible. So that was kind of difficult. And then we also thought it was just going to be done, but then we kept coming up with new ideas, like sponsored arenas where like anyone could open a sponsored arena and then people would fight, and then you could actually earn ETH for being in these battles, which was, I think, pretty new at the time. But then, you know, there's not that many companies that want to sponsor
another project.
Yeah, or sponsor like battles. But yeah, so I mean, it was definitely a crazy learning experience.
Yeah, it's kind of how the whole space is. Complexity begets complexity. Unfortunately, it's kind of that trilemma that a lot of crypto or all crypto projects kind of find themselves in.
And we it is still kind of crazy for me to think about angel battles being historic, because I'm like, we're not even done yet and it's already like historic. Right? Like, what does that say about our speed of development? But like, the thing was, we were always waiting. So like, as soon as we saw the problem with the gas fees, we're like, all right, well, we need to scale, right? And like, scalability was like just starting. So there was Loom network, which was like a plasma thing where they were gonna like, oh, you can do it for like, 0.001 cents or whatever. And so we're like, all right. So we were like kind of waiting for them, and then like nothing really happened. And then like we started talking to Scale Network, and then we were one of the first people that was working with Scale, and we were kind of helping them do their stuff. But then like, again, like they weren't ready, so it was like years were going by and like their stuff wasn't ready either. And now it's ready, and it's great, and it's like, free, that you can there's like no gas fees basically, because every project has its own chain. So I could see like some games being really successful on Scale, and they were like really cool people too, but there was some complexities that make it a lot harder for like a more decentralized project to be on Scale than a more like centralized involved team. And so yeah, we were waiting, and then we were like, all right, well, we got to put it somewhere. So we were doing like beta testing on XDAI on Gnosis chain, which is absolutely awesome. We love that chain. It's so cheap. It's so fast. Everything works. The only problem is they don't have the infrastructure yet around it like Polygon does. It's really hard for a lot of people to even buy XDAI, like from a credit card around the world. There's no OpenSea, and our DAO project, Tally, also was not deployed on Gnosis. So we eventually went with Polygon just because it had the infrastructure around it.
That makes sense. Oh, I didn't know you guys work on Tally. I had Dennison on, who I know works on that as well.
Oh, are you talking about Tally Wallet?
Oh, Tally Wallet. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the DAO, I think, or Wallet maybe.
Yeah. So there's Tally Wallet, which is also awesome, with the dog and like community owned, which is fantastic. And then there's Tally, which is a front end for DAOs like who use like compounds contracts. And so that's what we use. Obviously, like the DAO contracts can all be called directly, but it's just kind of like a nice thing for like people to vote. Right now, we still have admin control, but as we move forward, we're going to release all that and then let everything go based on DAO votes. So like if one monster's too strong or something, like, all right, well, do a DAO proposal. And if people agree with you, we'll nerf that monster, or the monster will be nerfed. Like, we won't do it, right?
I want to note that just prior, Loom actually is where Plasma Bears migrated from. For those historical fans out there, that 2019 project that a lot of people like, that Xcopy and a few other people participated in. Yeah, DAOs seem to be the ultimate end goal for most of these games. It has to be reinforced by the community. So there always has to be some sort of centralization to begin and then move to decentralization. Unfortunately, I don't think at this point in time, any project can really have the decentralization that Bitcoin holds, and likely never will. So there just has to be various forms to decentralization. Take us through how you ended up getting involved with Adam McBride and the revival. He obviously was the one who posted this article that I'm about to put up on the screen here in a second. How long did it take the team? Here it is. He posted November 29th, 2022, Angel Battles 2018 blockchain trading card game. How long did it take from first talking with Adam to then fixing all of the contracts and finally deploying it?
Well, so we started talking with Adam maybe a little less than a year ago, like maybe March or something. I don't remember how we originally did it. I think I was just talking about something like historical, and someone's like, "Hey, you should talk to this guy, Adam." So we did, and yeah, he was super helpful in just kind of explaining to us the whole historical space. The contracts themselves didn't actually take too long, but we were trying to release like the new game and the historical launch at the same time. So we were basically waiting through all that time while we were working on the new game.
Interesting. So here I'm pulling up this Reddit post that you put here 5 years ago. And this just kind of is covering a lot of different people who are interested in it. Are there any changes to the game from 2018 to now? And can you kind of just dive through maybe from a technical and also just from a gameplay standpoint?
Yeah, the gameplay change was huge, and which is why we took so long to redevelop it, because the way that all the battles pretty much worked in 2018 and in our game, and I think all the other games, were just like you would just enter a battle and then you would just come back and like see if you won or not. Right? Like the entire battle happened in one transaction, and there was just basically mashing stats against each other, right? And so you didn't really know if like, I mean, you didn't really have much strategy involved in battling. And now what we've done is we made the battles all multi-rounded. So when you go into a battle, now you have all your choices, like either to attack or to buff up your defense, or to call your pet for assistance, or to release your aura. And there's 6 aura colors, and they all have like various like aura powers. There's a aura passive, which happens every round no matter what, and then there's an aura burst, which you can do once per battle. For instance, the purple aura has like a 1% chance to do like a sudden kill every single round, and like an 8% chance if you release your aura. You could try for that. And so the battles are far more complicated now. And the second thing is the battle mountain. Before, we had a linear leaderboard with 20 spots. So if you're at spot 16, you had to fight against spot 15 if you wanted to go up. But now the battle is a 2-dimensional battle mountain. So there's all kind of things going on. There's like a lava field. So if you're in the lava field, red aura angels are going to become stronger, right? And then there's like different buffs that can happen, that can change once per day. So like, okay, well now the defenders have an advantage, right? Or now, equine pets like horses and unicorns have an advantage. And then there's like bridges can be out, so you have to like move your way around. So there's a lot of strategy involved now in getting to the top of the battle mountain. So yeah, it's a completely different game. When we started having cheap transactions, we realized, okay, well now we don't have to be as limited as we were before. So now we can actually make the game more something that you would actually want to play. So that's how we changed all of that.
Yeah, it sounds quite complex, but there is a vision to it. As I was scrolling through this project, we'll stay on the historical part for a second, and then we'll move into the new gameplay. And Adam noted here there's a 2019 wrapper, and there was only 110 tokens that were issued on this. Have any of these tokens moved recently? And is this integrated into the new game in any way?
Yeah, so what happened was it wasn't, as he says, a wrapper. It was destructive. So if you wanted to, it was a conversion, right? So we were like, back in 2019, we didn't think about history, right, either. And so we were like, oh, well, like, if you want to, you can upgrade your card to this new card, and then you can, like, sell it on a marketplace or whatever. And so those 110 cards. They were like, some of them were like newly bought, but almost all of them were like historical cards that were like destroyed in order to be wrapped. So what we did was we airdropped, if anyone actually destroyed their historical card in order to wrap it, we airdropped them a new historical card from the original contract.
Wow.
There was very few people that did it. It was just like a couple of active players. And most of them honestly were like, there was also like a lot of free cards that in 2019 people had just got a free card or whatever. So we gave them a free card on the original, but that reduced the supply that was available for the remint and cost us gas, 110 gas fees. But I think that was like the fair thing to do.
I think so as well. There's only one other project historically that I'm familiar with who had something similar, and that was Age of Rust on Counterparty. And those cards that weren't burned actually have a fair amount of value nowadays. So if you're a holder of that, I could see that being quite valuable in the future, especially if when Angel Battles has a community that adopts it and becomes successful and integrated into the ecosystem. So as I move down here to one of your newest posts, the historic wrapper, here's the OpenSea for those that are looking. You see here, not much volume per se, because we're still working out the kinks here. Are there any cards here that tend to be more valuable than other? We're talking from a collector's standpoint. Have you seen any sort of trends here?
Yeah. Well, first I would say the reason there's not much volume on OpenSea is because people can still mint most of the cards. Like if you go to the Angel Battles historical site, you'll see a lot of cards are sold out. Yeah, click on historic site. Yeah.
I think let's see. My VPN might not be letting me on. That's okay. Go ahead though. I think it might be my VPN.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll make a look at that too and see. But yeah, so a lot of the cards have been minted out, but a lot of them can still be minted from the wrapper. So I think most people will mint the new ones rather than purchasing on OpenSea. But the cards like Michael and Lucifer are really the ones that minted out very quickly, and the ones that have had more sales on them. Because there's only like I think 25, maybe 35 of each of those cards. I know like some people were saying like, well, with this project, the best way to look at it is as like 61 different like rarities because there's 61 different cards. I'm not like a expert on that, but there are definitely some cards are much more rare than others. For instance, the Barachial card is free. I think that was up a little bit. That's by far the largest. There's like over 500 of those. Some of the pets, like the level 1 pets, like the gecko, those are also free. And the ones with 1 star. So those were free originally in 2018, and they were mostly free in the remint as well. The elementals are also very rare. They are super rare in the actual game to get, and they are extremely powerful. For instance, the fire elemental is extremely powerful when he's matched with a red aura angel, or an angel that has components of a red aura, like a purple or orange angels. They have a purple angel has half blue power and half red power. An orange angel has half red power and half yellow power.
Quite interesting. Yeah, and then now you're starting to see some of the items too through the scrolling. So now I'm here on the website for Angels. Welcome to Angel Battle 2.0. walk me through how we're going to play. Let's say I'm somebody who just purchased some of the Polygon ones. I came down here. You can actually just like redeem all of these. Where do I go to get started from here? Do I go up here?
Yep. So real quick, a note on the packs. There's the free pack. It says redeem because it's free. Anyone can get it. Bronze, silver, and gold cost a little bit of Matic, but that Matic does not go to us. That Matic goes to Gitcoin matching pool. Originally, we had the idea that all that Matic would go to the Battle Mountain, and then that Matic would be redistributed back to the players who had good positions on the mountain. I think that's a really interesting value loop, but there was just too many like unclear laws, and if that would be considered like gambling because there's like a randomness in like winning some battles, or if it could be a vessel for money laundering. Like, you wouldn't be great at money laundering because like you would still have to like actually have the strongest card, but maybe if you had, I don't know, millions of dollars, you could potentially like buy all the strongest cards and then buy the things there and then get the money on the other side. So just like, because like the laws are unclear at that point, we weren't really sure. So we decided just donate all the money to Gitcoin matching pool. So then it will just go back out to the community. And this game can actually be like an engine for funding public goods, which would be like a really cool thing. Then if you see the ultimate pack, those are the best cards, and you will need to buy that with Halo tokens, not with Matic. And one more thing real quick, if anyone wants to play, but you need like a little Matic, just come by our Discord and we will give you some Matic for free, just a little bit so you can start playing.
Awesome. So let's say I redeemed this free pack. I have some in my wallet, so we can play as well. Where do I go from here?
If you go to account, you can see my team page, and that shows your cards. And then if you need to do anything with the card, like transfer it or change the name of your pet or something, you can do that. Enter a token ID for advanced management. Okay. And then if you go up a little bit more under account, also you'll see medals. So medals are also cards. You will get them for various achievements in the game, or you can buy them. They're also NFTs. You get, like, for instance, a medal just by making it onto the Battle Mountain, and then you can burn the medal for like a one-time boost to one of your characters. Like, and
so you would for a second, you need to approve the medals contract, right? If you're going to play the game.
If you're going to burn it, if you're going to burn anything, you don't need to approve it if you get medals, but if you want to burn one to buff up one of your characters, you would need to approve it. Okay. So to upgrade, you're going to have to approve the medals contract. Okay. Keep going. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure that was right. Yeah. So if you do under select a medal and there's a drop down there, you could select maybe like a couple. One ply paper towel is the worst. 2-ply paper towel is better. It goes up to like, diamond and whatever. So you see like Zeronium. Yep. You'll see like there, the burn effect is it will be plus 15 to 20 battle power for one angel. So that's basically like making them as if they were a stronger, like two stronger angel. You'll see there's 5 of them. Yep. In circulation. Yeah, you have to get to the very top of the Battle Mountain to get a Zeronium medal.
Yep, it says gold, diamond, and Zeronium medals can be claimed directly from the main Battle Mountain. Yep. And
there's a pretty cool thing in here. I think it's titanium.
Yep, second from the last.
Yep. So there's this monster called the Liquid Metal Cornu, and Liquid Metal is kind of like from the Dragon Quest games, and the Cornu's an ancient like bird demon, and so this enemy is really rare. But as opposed to the other enemies that are always the same strength, this enemy becomes stronger whenever anyone in the world defeats it. Okay. So like the first person that beats it has the easiest time, And then the second person that beats it becomes a little bit more difficult. So over time, this monster is going to become super, super strong and like unbeatable. But if you do manage to beat it, it's rare to even encounter it. But if you do beat it, you get one of these titanium medals. Looks like 2 people have.
Yep, 2 in circulation. So it's almost like for the millennials out there, it reminds me kind of like the Pokemon Game Boy games when you're like when you're running through the grass and sometimes you encounter a common Pokemon and then sometimes you counter like a super rare enemy, which is kind of similar to that. That's what it reminded me of.
If you do DAO voting, you will go to that tally page that shows what has been going on. Right now, we just have 1 vote to burn some tokens just as a test to make sure our DAO works. And then you can hit back. We'll go back. The cards section, I think just that's just the types. It just shows all the cards that exist. And then my sets, those will colorize if you have one of those subsets. Okay. So I know like the full set is like the gold standard, right? Mm-hmm. But you can have subsets. This goes for the historical ones also. Like for instance, all the level 1 pets or all the medals or whatever.
Okay. Interesting. L4 pets, L2, L5, Red Aura, Dark Angel, Light Angel. This is kind of similar to like trait rarities inside sub collections, mm-hmm. where with punks you could have the cigarettes or the hologram glasses or the hoodies. It reminds me, it's kind of similar to that.
But there's no limit, like, with punks only one person could have like all the hoodies, mm-hmm. right? Like with this one, like each player could have all the level 1 pets. Now, not historically, but mm-hmm. For the Polygon ones. Stables is if you want to breed 2 of your cards mm-hmm. In order to get another card. And there's a chance that they're going to go up in a level. So for instance, you can breed. So you could breed like a horse and a falcon in order to get like a flying horse, right? Like a Pegasus, and so on. So there's a different pet lines that allow you to move forward. You will have to approve the pet contract for mm-hmm. ERC20 because you will need to pay Halo tokens to breed.
And where do I acquire Halo tokens?
You're going to get those on the battle mountains and the arena battles, which we'll go to in just a second. The last thing on stables is the pastures. So we implemented this in a historical one because before you got pets by fighting battles, and like there was a lot of pets. So if you see like on the total supply of historical cards, like most of them are pets. Mm-hmm. And so we implemented this pastures where you could burn 6 of your pets to be guaranteed to get a more powerful one in exchange. So it reduced the supply by 5 every time someone did this.
Interesting. Yeah. Here, for those that are listening, it says, warning, in order to retire 721 pets, you must first give approval to the pet's contract to manage your cards. You only need to approve the pet's contract once, and it will be valid for all of your tokens. You may also want to remove the approval once you are finished.
Oh, sorry, one more thing too. If you go back to account and then account, there's, a place to manage all of this stuff. So if you go down, you'll see like all your approvals there. We have a local storage cache if you would like to. Sometimes we get a lot of cards. Mm-hmm. It can take like a while to load them because it's reading from the chain. There's no servers or anything. And then you see the store now has 80 Matic in it. So anyone can send that money to Gitcoin at any time.
Interesting. So are you saying that are the images stored on chain too, or just all of the transactions and the mechanics of the game?
Yeah, the images are stored on IPFS, as is the front end. But our metadata is completely on chain. Which is really cool. So we don't have a metadata server like a lot of projects. And this is for the historical also. So it makes it a lot safer for collectors. Like there's no metadata server that can ever go down or be compromised. So the contract itself returns a JSON object with all of the metadata in it. So that was pretty cool, and I think a key step for decentralization when that became possible for like OpenSea to read that. But the image itself is stored on IPFS.
Awesome, incredible. Yeah, any sort of on-chain activity is always a value amplifier when collectors are kind of surveying projects. So huge thumbs up.
Now, the main thing, sorry for being a little going in circles, but the battles. So you can go to battle arenas, and now you can select your team to go. Right now, the Halo rewards are really high. 7,800 Halo for one battle.
Where? Oh, it's up here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the way the rewards work is that the contract gives out 1% of its balance whenever anyone wins a battle. So it can never be drained completely. The amount of rewards are just going to go down. So after you win this battle, presumably, then the next rewards, instead of being 78.31, might be like 78.25 or something. They'll just be going down. But then there's streams that are streaming constantly, and anyone on that account page can claim that stream and give those contracts more rewards.
Yeah, it's right here. It says angels have a cooldown to rest before they battle again to increase competitiveness, as you mentioned earlier in the conversation. The strongest angel in the game can battle every 24 hours. Angels within 30 experience can battle every 8 hours. Those within 100 experience can battle every 4 hours. And those within 200 experience can battle every hour. And those at least 300 experience can battle without delay. So you just keep running it back. How much experience are you generally picking up per battle?
So it depends on which arena you face. There's 1, 2, or either 3 or 5. And then the liquid metal Cornu is like 10 experience or whatever.
All right, let's walk through this then. I'm going to pick Cornu. And then when you select your team, how many people can I choose from on here? Right here, I have 6 characters.
You get one angel, one pet, and one accessory.
Okay, I'm going to choose Errol. And then for the tokens, I'm going to choose Kitten because I love cats. And then for the tokens, I'm going to Catnip.
Oh, Catnip. Yeah, so Catnip will buff up your cat.
Awesome. And then just after that, all I need to do is hit time to fight.
Yep.
And then you come in here and you got to approve the transaction, which is literally 2 cents. You guys can't see it, but 2 cents.
Yeah, and it says 2 cents, but it's actually much less than 2 cents. We had to make it higher for we have to give more gas than it's probably going to need.
And so then right here on the screen, it says waiting for opponent. And now the battle arena has opened. And it's really almost like Pokemon, man. It reminds me of it so much. I love it. So for those that can't see, there's a picture of, it looks like the enemy. And it says a Cornu appears, Errol is ready, which was my character. And then it has the enemy stats. And it has my angel stats. The enemy stats is 100 heart, which I'm assuming is health, and 0 of all of the 4 other categories. And then my angel stat is 216 health, and then 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 lightning, which I'm assuming is kind of the agility abilities.
You can hover over each one of those, and you'll see you should see.
Yeah, not popping. Oh, wait, there we go. Hold on. It was popped up here, and where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you just got to sit on it for a second.
Yeah. The yellow aura increases speed, which is going to be who has a chance to go first each turn. The red aura increases attack, so you're going to be hitting harder. The blue aura increases defense. So you can breed your pets to have certain auras so that you'll be more competitive in like more difficult battles. And then when you're in the battle mountain, you'll see more power there. And then the green is your defense buff. So that means however hard he was going to hit you, it's going to be 1 less. and then that's just your aura color. So then you have 4 options to do.
Yep. So there's 4 options: attack, aura burst, defend, and summon. Obviously, attack is probably pretty simple. Defend is defending yourself from the character. What are the bottom 2?
So summon is to summon your pet. So your kitty will come and fight for you for 1 round, and then aura burst is to release your aura. And there's a guide in the battle arena about what each aura burst does. You have a blue aura, so you're releasing the blue aura would call your pet back.
All right, here I'm gonna hit that. Let's see what happens. And then there's a transaction fee that came up of for Matic 0.03 Matic that I have to confirm here, and I've approved it. So there should be some action here on this every second. And so I'm assuming there's a transaction fee for every choice of attack, defend, burst, and summon. Yeah,
and they're usually less than a cent. But you know, if we were, this is one of the places where like, it's a trade-off between like decentralization and like gameplay fun. Like it kind of sucks to have to pay for every transaction, even though it's low, and to wait for every transaction. But at the same time, like there's not really a way to do that in a decentralized way without it. And we kind of push Angel Battles for maximum decentralization.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. So I hit the aura burst.
Try the manual update button.
Okay. And then confirm results.
Yep.
Ooh, looks like
you won.
Oh, I won right here. Yeah, it says your team of Errol, Kitten, and Catnip faced off in a vicious battle. Congrats, you won. You earned 1 experience. And so since I just started, this was the first battle I used on this account. This means that I have to wait now 24 hours, correct?
No, that's only if you're the strongest angel. You're away from the strongest angel, so you can battle as much as you want. But also, that's per angel.
Okay.
And then if you click on that Halo token in the top.
Right here? Or this one?
That's your cards. That's the Halos, yep.
Oh, there we go.
So now you have 7,831 Halos.
Woohoo! All right, and then you can use these Halos, and then this is what you use for the breeding, correct? And then you could breed your pets to make them better, and so on and so forth.
And then the main like gameplay is in the versus battles. So then if you go to battles and leaderboards, and then scroll down, you'll see what this looks like. So there's the left image is kind of just like an overview of the different zones and the different gates you can go on. So you have to start from one of the gates. There's 8 different gates to attack, and then you'll see there's like the ice peak and the lava lake and the different bridges. And then the image on the right shows the spots more clearly, and like which spots are connected to other spots. And then you see above there's current bonuses. Right now there's a bonus for attackers and level 3 pets, and bridge 1 and 3 are out.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, right here.
And to change the conditions, when we originally were thinking that you would be able to earn Matic if like you change the condition and it gave the Matic to the place where you were, we thought that needed to be protected against randomness attacks. And so we actually used Chainlink oracles in order to do that. And we have a commit reveal scheme. And one of our blog on Mirror goes into detail about how we are protecting randomness against all kinds of attacks, like different kind of flashbot bundle attacks and things like that. So it's almost certainly overkill But it was just kind of pretty cool to think it through and to engineer it. And we do the same thing on the on getting the ultimate pack of cards. And then one more thing about these battle mountains, you see at the top where it says official mountains.
Yep.
So those are the mountains. Those mountains are all incentivized. So you could fight on a mountain that would say like only, allow free cards or something. So free cards, people would not, worry too much about fighting whales.
Yeah. So this is like the beginner entry battle. Essentially.
And if you click like choose a gate to attack, you can choose any of those gates in there, and it will just show you. See how most of your cards say not playable, because those are not the free cards.
So here I chose two. I chose the kitten and the brachial. It looks like I didn't have a token that's playable in there, but can I still? Yep. I can still fight without having the third part.
Exactly.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm assuming then your chances of winning are decreased slightly because of that.
Well, I think on this mountain, I don't think there's no free accessories. I think so. On this mountain, no one has accessories.
Interesting. And so right now, as the loading screen is displayed, it's basically the transactions are running through the chain, and that's what takes a second for it. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
So Brachial's ready to fight, and so it looks almost exactly the same as the previous thing. I'm gonna hit attack on this one.
Yeah, now you're gonna see his
the sword.
Yeah, and you're gonna see his pet. The pet that's on there right now is that parakeet.
That parakeet, yeah. And since last time too, if it takes a second to load, you want to come down here and hit manual update.
Yeah, you can see like in MetaMask, if your transaction has gone through already, then you can hit the manual update. It should update automatically, but we found it's really hard with all the different RPC nodes, and you got the update.
Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Brachial bravely strikes for 22. Brachial bravely strikes for 52. And so my angel stats are 48. The defender has 98. So I'm actually getting my ass whooped right now.
Yeah.
So Bess, I need to bring in a friend.
All right, let's see.
I'm gonna bring in my tiger. So right now on the screen, the tiger popped up in front of the angel, and he's gonna defend me, or I'm about to get my ass whooped and die. So we'll see as we test through these battle mountains. Let's see. Oh, so I got 17 health left. The bird has 51. So if I defend, since I'm about to die, is that like the better strategical move?
No, defending is better early on because that defense buff lasts for the rest. Your best chance is just to attack and hope for the best.
All right, we're praying right now. We're praying. Spend about 8 cents on this battle together. Man, really paying.
But if you see, if you look at the Block Explorer, the cost is actually far less than the MetaMask is the worst.
All right, it looks like I died. I have 0 health. So then you just come down here and hit confirm results.
Yep.
All right. So what happens now that I'm dead? Is this guy just off the market?
You could just try again. You just didn't get that spot. So I would go to battles at the top and then leaderboards again. And then I would go to choose a mountain section. I would stay on the official one since you have strong enough cards. I think you should be good.
Okay. Okay.
Or you could do... all right, so you're on Dark Angels only. So then see where it says overview on that drop down? The lower drop down?
Yep.
So choose one of the panels, like entrance 1 maybe.
Okay.
Or entrance 2. Yeah, so this shows the top. And if you scroll down, you'll see all the angels that are at the top. Those are just the what's called the null team right now, because no one has gotten up there to fight yet. So you should be able to defeat those people easily, but you can't get to panel 1 until you go through like an action. Mm-hmm. If you're a defender, you can set your team's strategies ahead of time. Like you can say, I want to do my aura burst first, and then I want to defend, and then I want to keep attacking. But you don't get that because those are not your cards.
Mm-hmm. And so these are all actual real players. It appears you can see that it shows the owner's address.
Yeah, they will be. Those right now are just like what we call the null team, which is just like an easy team that's just there. So the spots can't be empty. So if no player is there, then that's like the computer's team is there.
They're like the NPCs.
Yep. Yeah, so click on, instead of choose a mountain section, choose like entrance 1 or entrance 2, maybe.
All right.
No, sorry, on the sections first, so you could see what it looks like.
Oh, entrance 1, okay.
Yeah, so then you'll get the entrance 1 panel. So you can see, like if you start in gate 55, then you'll be able to go up to 46 later on. If you scroll down, those might still be blank too. There's someone on 54, Baron and a Sabertooth. So that would be a little bit more difficult to face, or you could try to get on the mountain on like 56 or 55.
So it's almost like King of the Hill style, right? It's like, because you have to go through all these different people to get to the top.
But there's different paths. So you have to choose a path that's conducive to the angels that you have.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I could see now, so you start seeing some of the strategy that comes into this. How many players, before we begin to wrap this up, how many players are playing this game right now, do you believe?
It's not a lot. It's like a few dozen, I think. We do need to get more players. At least to get like that critical mass. We haven't really been like marketing much. We did an airdrop for Halo tokens to a bunch of other groups like that we thought had been like good actors in the space. So for instance, people that had that 1559 NFT, which gave money to the developers who actually implemented 1559. We gave it to because we got a lot from ETH Denver, we gave it to all the Buffacorn holders, the EVM Lions from ETH Finance, and then a bunch of different POAPs, like people who had run validators on all the test nets, like Kiln and Kintsugi and stuff like that. Just like people that we thought had helped Ethereum. So we gave all those, but we haven't really like marketed a lot to those groups and told them like, hey, you can claim some free Halo tokens. So we kind of have to do that. We're going back to old players also. Unfortunately, like a lot of old players are like, oh yeah, I don't know where my like password is, or like I don't have that computer anymore. So I think a lot of the historical cards are probably lost, just because people didn't think any like computer things are doing in 2018 was gonna be like end up being valuable.
Hey, more value to my cards than as a collector. Although they are the newer minted ones, it's still a scarce supply. So what's the objective of the team? This will probably be the last question. What is the objective of the team over 2023 that you're looking to get done, and maybe some goals and objectives to attain?
I mean, we'd like to get more players, for sure. Another thing is we would like to finish decentralizing the game. Like we still have an admin key on the 2018 contract, which we'd like to burn. We're pretty close to being confident that we could do that. But like from a collector's point of view, obviously, like you don't want that admin key around. I mean, like we have more to lose than anyone, I think, right? Like reputation wise, and just like seeing something we worked on so long, people not be happy about it. But yeah, so we want to burn that. We want to fully transition things over to the DAO. And then we want to kind of this historical like community. I noticed it seems to be like a break between pretty much on like December 31st, 2017. And there's like a big difference in like the projects. Obviously, like a lot more projects came out in 2018, but we kind of want to just let people know about Angel Battles because, you know, we see a bunch of like, you know, timelines or historical guides or wikis or things, and they almost all don't include us.
Yep.
I think just because the rediscovery was like last November, so it takes like a while for that to like propagate. But we just want to kind of, you know, tell the story of our history, just so people can know. I mean, not like we did anything like super, super innovative or rare that like had never been done before or since, but like very, very small percent of all Angel Battles was stuff that we like saw from other projects and copied. Like almost all of it, we just like thought about from first principles. And like, if we were playing this game, like how would we want to play? And so, yeah, those I think are our goals. Angel, do you want to add anything to that?
Angel might have even walked away. Good part of being
on mute.
Or he's on mute.
No, I'm good. I'm here.
Okay. So I just want to mention, I'm sure there are some historical people, you know, there's the NFT relics, the timelines, old NFT archaeology. There's a bunch of, or a handful of directories that could be added. Even messaging them might help as well. But for those that are listening, being able to walk through the whole rediscovery, the thoughts, the innovation, it all is important and privy to the historical collector, because the story and the narrative is probably the bulk of where the value lies, and then the success later on just kind of amplifies it overall. So I just having this laid out here as a video, I think is going to be important for you guys moving forward.
Thanks. We really appreciate you know, you inviting us on the show, and this was a great interview, and yeah, we look forward to promoting it to our community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to thank you guys again for doing this. Happy anniversary, 5 years. It doesn't seem like a lot, but in crypto years, that's probably like 25 or 30 years. I don't know. Like we're moving faster than dog years. I've been in here since 2016, and it feels like I've only known crypto like my entire life. Yeah. So, oh man, best of luck to you guys.
So slow.
Yeah, man. Best of luck to you guys, and appreciate you guys for coming on again. Any final words? Anything you'd like to say to the community before we close up?
Do you want to take this one?
No, just thank you very much for allowing us to be here. But yeah, definitely get out there and get some cards and play it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching, and Angel and Michael, we'll see you guys next time.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Take care.